Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are doing an automotive POV, and I have to say the photos turned out way better than I imagined. And before we get on into things, I will mention that I will be posting the settings up in today's video so that you can have a better idea about the photos that I got and how I got them. The lens that was primarily used was a 24-70 f2.8 G Master lens on the Sony A1. But the first few photos that I'm gonna put up on the screen were actually shot on the A7IV with the 16-35 G Master, and that's because I wanted the nice wide focal length to be able to capture the entire environment. If you are new to the channel, my name is Wunder. I am a street and travel photographer based in Toronto, and the really big thing that I'm really trying to get across with this channel is how we can all live a more creative and impactful life. Really what inspires me the most about this channel and why I love putting together POV videos like today's is because it gives me a reason to really get creative and go beyond the constant Zoom calls and being on a computer and staying in a room and just getting out and making something. So I'm excited to jump on into this one. I'm gonna put the settings up in today's video, and yeah, let's jump on into it. So before we jump into today's video and really just talking about general automotive tips, because that is something I want to talk about in today's POV, I will just touch on quickly the purpose of this channel being about living a more creative life. I think that the fun thing about YouTube for me is that I've kind of given myself like little adventures, I'm gonna call them, to really find a way to break out of my routine. And my hope is with this channel that we can all find approachable ways to basically do the same thing, whether it's a location close to you or if you want to make a trip. I think that there's a lot of like undiscovered sort of things that we can do, if that makes any sense, whether it's with a camera or without. And I really want to be able to make the channel to find out what those things are and how we can really get out of the trap of, like I mentioned, like the constant stream of Zoom calls and just overall work, and really just find a way that we can all get creative and make sure that we're better off for it. So with that, I'm going to highlight a few things that you're looking at in today's automotive video, and that is the session of photos that you're seeing right now on the screen. A lot of detail shots, and this is probably my #1 automotive tip, and it's something that not really a lot of people do, and it's actually to look for the details of a car instead of just thinking about those wider hero shots. So with those like 4 or 5 detail shots you saw, those are really the unique aspects of this Golf GTI, and I wanted to be able to capture those because they actually really communicate the story of the car. The second thing then that you're really looking for with your automotive photography is how can you capture the car in a space that helps accentuate it in a way. And the big thing when doing that is to figure out how to interact the car with its environment. And when you're building a photo series, for example, it's like, how can you take the natural elements around you and really integrate them better into your storyline? So you saw shots of the CN Tower, you saw me basically taking the building elements and figuring out how to use them as a backdrop. This shot right here is a great example of an environmental shot, taking advantage of just it pointing backwards on the road. And then of course, going back into not really like detail shots, but more so medium shots of the car. And a lot of the times those detail and medium shots are actually the shots that an automotive company is going to look for with the car, because those are really those things that like people buy the car for, these specific aspects. And the perfect example of that is the Golf written in the headlights. That's a detail that absolutely needs to be showcased. And in this part of the video now, that's going to lead us up to probably the third thing that I want to talk about is how can you basically position a car to make sure you capture its angles perfectly. And ironically, when we decided to move the car off of the side of the streets and into the middle of the road, a bunch of cars went by, but the entire time, because it was such an early morning, we actually had that whole section of the roads to ourselves. And finding a way to get the car on an angle so that you can capture a 3/4 front or a 5/6 front and just find out those key angles that you want to get your car captured in is probably the best way about getting that big hero shot. And so that photo up on the screen now with the leading line going towards the car with the CN Tower in the background, that would be the first photo that I would highlight in my photo series, and then finding again other ways to kind of create some variations around that. So then this last one is more so a fun street photography shot, and that'll round out the POV. So with that, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I just wanna say thank you all for watching. I hope you got something out of watching today's video and that you did, of course, enjoy the photography. If you did like today's video, be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what your favorite part was so I know what to make more of in the future. And with that, I'm just gonna say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.